Hey everybody, and welcome back. Alright, this is the second attempt at this. I just started talking to you a moment ago and the compressor came on. So this week, hopefully we're going to be finished. I've rebuilt so many BSA singles, I can do that in a couple of hours without any problem. So we should be done. The hardest part is done, and I will talk you through that in a minute. Alright, the other thing is, I had masses of comments, and most of them were saying, oh, we'd miss you on a Sunday. Of course, do what's best, but we'd miss you on a Sunday. So let me ease your worry. I'm not, in the immediate future anyway, going to pack in. I was just, as Linda said, I get a bit, particularly with the weather we've got at the moment. Do you know, on Friday, when I went to see my friend Mike, it was, I won't keep converting, let's just say it was well above freezing, and it was actually raining, which was an awful thing to happen, because the very next day it was several degrees below freezing, and in fact that night it was 0 Fahrenheit. It was really cold. So of course all that rain just wet the snow, smoothed it all out, and then froze solid. And Sunday it was below freezing, and today it's going to be well above freezing again. It's like this the next 10 days. It's awful. Sunday I just walk down here and I get out on the drive, and my feet went a bit like that, but being a trials rider, of course, even at my advanced years, I didn't fall over, so I stopped and I bent down and brushed, because it was dry powdery snow, brushed the snow off the drive, and it was like standing on a frozen pond. I mean, there was just, I could see through a good thickness of just solid ice. I mean, the drive was like a skating rink. So that's a bit of a bummer. Alright, so yes, I'm not going to pack up. Certainly not in the foreseeable future, so don't worry about that. There was, I just seen a run in a clear coat. There was one comment that mentioned that maybe instead of doing such long projects I should do some short ones. Well, funnily enough, my plans for the first part of the year, I have a few things that I want to do. It's remedial work to some prior ones, so we'll do that. So anyway, div and fret. Right, what are we going to do now? So let me get on. Oh, dirt on that. And I'll show you this first part of the engine, and then we'll just rebuild it and get it in. As I say, I'm going to build... Pardon me. I'm going to build up just a small amount of the bottom half of the engine so it's still light, and put it in, and then we'll build the rest in there. So let me show you what I've done so far. Right, well, the heating has just come on, and it's making a noise that I haven't heard it make before. It's sort of going, a bit of a sort of Doppler type sound. Now that's stopping. Oh well. Okay, so this actually isn't finished. I'm going to take it apart. This side of course comes off easily because it's just on the bush here. To put some sealant on, and then I'll bolt it up tight. But this thing took me, last week's video I basically finished on Wednesday. That's when I sort of got to the hour. Thursday I came out, Saturday I came out, just trying to get this to go together right. I could not get this bleeding crank to true up, and the reason for that was it was out in the strangest ways. Normally when you build it up, there's basically only two ways the crank can be out. When you put it together, you can put it together so that if the pin's at the top, there's a bigger gap at the bottom than there is at the top, so you just crimp it in with a vise, or it's in at the bottom more so than at the top, in which case you drive a wedge in and get them right. Or the two flywheels can be out sort of like that. And that's when you start banging them with a nice big bronze thing to bring them back round. Well, my flywheels were out, but top to bottom, which they shouldn't be able to, well, I suppose they can. So anyway, I did the usual truing that you saw in the, that I do in the lathe, and then also, I mean, on the flywheels on that side, because I put it in easily here, I put it in this side, had it sat down. I marked out 8 places around the flywheels, because the flywheels have machine surfaces, and I measured, went round measuring down to the case and marked on what the measurements were, and then took it out and tried to just bump it a little bit till I got them all the same. Well, if they're machine surfaces, I don't know who did the machining, because finally I did some measurements. The edge of the flywheel is up a little bit from the actual bearing face, so to do the measurements I had to find, I put a straight edge across and measured down to the bearing face. Well, I'd done that in one spot because, you know, these are 2 machine surfaces in parallel. Well, it just so happened this morning, actually, before I got started, I checked a few places round and the measurements were 10-12 thou difference as I moved round. So I used my dummy bearing to put onto the bearing surface and measured off the top of this, and then I got good measurements, regular measurements. So anyway, it's all gone together and goes round nicely, and from the measurements I got, I've actually got about a 5 thou gap, which is fine. What I've also done is I got the oil can and squirted oil through the hole, the delivery side hole for the pump, and that's come right through and come out of the big end bearing. So I know that all that truing didn't move the alignment of the various holes and that it's still going through everything. So that is done. So I'm just going to pop this off, put some sealant on, bolt it back together. Then what we're going to do, because it's a lot easier to do it here, is we're going to put the oil pump in. Alright, and when the oil pumps in, we'll put the drive in. Now the drive, where is it, there it is. That goes in like thusly. We have the worm gear that's on there that drives that, so the bottom's got a slot in for the oil pump, so that goes on there like that, right? And then, as you can see, this hole here, that's for a 1/4 inch screw that goes in and holds this bronze bush in place, right? And then what it would normally be, of course, this slot here is to drive the distributor. So when we've got this in and that held in place, we'll make our blanking thing for this, which what have I done with that now? What have I done with that? What have I done with that? Hang on a minute. Right, I'm back. That's threaded at this end, not there. So that goes in there, and there's a screw that goes right through from the outer case. It's I think it's a 2BA one, it's not a 1/4 inch. And that was what clamped up on the distributor. Well, we'll put that in to clamp up, we'll make our plug, because the plug's got to stay in, and there's no real way of doing it. I could put an O-ring on it, which might hold it in tight, I suppose, but there is a recess here that I was going to put the O-ring in and just have the cap go down in. I think I'll put this in. Apart from anything else, I don't want to leave a hole, an empty hole in the outer case. So if I'm going to put a screw in to make it look right, then I might as well put that one in. Also, this is the sump. You can see it's nice and shiny. I put that on the flat part of the sander and it was miles out. I mean, it just to say touched around the edges. No wonder these things leak. So I have faced that off so it's a nice flat surface. Alright, so let me start with getting this, some gasket cement on it and properly bolted up. Alright, some gasket cement on that, tightened it up and short one bolt. But I've got 2, 4, I've got 6 holding it in, and it's still very nice. Actually, I didn't have any BSC nuts. I've run out of them, and British Tools and Fasteners didn't have them listed. So I just phoned up and they definitely have them in stock. He said he's got 50 of them. So I'm going to order them at lunchtime, and we go a long way before we need another BSC nut, I think. Alright, so the next thing is to get this stupid oil pump into there. Now this was actually, it wouldn't turn, so I took it apart. All it is I maybe should have shown you this. These 2 bolts, it's like 2 plates and a housing here with 4 little gears in, and the gears mesh, and it's a gear drive pump. The oil gets squished in between the gears, and as they go around it gets thrown out. So, but like with a C15, you've got to sort of wangle it in. Oh good, there's the heating gone off. I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way. I was watching the other videos I put together last week, and I noticed I got my hands in the way a lot. I also noticed it's really difficult to show the alloy. There it goes, is that it? There. I haven't put the gasket on it because I thought the gasket would be difficult to get in, so let's see. How does it go? I'm going to have to try this with, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the gasket in there. It didn't seem to go in too difficultly. Oh. Because I don't want to put it in, so I've blocked a hole. Hole, 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 hole. Alright, so how did that... I've forgotten already. It was sideways, like that. Then twizzle it around. That. Does it go in? I see, I'm catching that bloody gasket. That goes like that. Then we have 2 long screws, which are not easy to get at. The hole in this could do with being... I'm taking you out of shot now, I know. Oh God, this is really... You know, I wonder about some engineers who design things. You know, what made them think that getting that pump, you know, they couldn't come up with a better way, a bigger sump, you know, cast this a bit bigger so the pump just went in. Now I'm all oily so I can't grip things. I'm just cleaning my hands. You know, you're trying to keep the gasket right, because as I say, if you block off holes, you're in deep doo-doo. That's a pretty stupid phrase. Excuse my head while I find these holes. One there. Where's the screwdriver gone? Let's just put the damn thing over here. Oh, there it is. That's not lining up with anything. There's the hole over there. Excuse me again. You know, they've even got holes drilled in the thing here to get the screws through. Right, that's one. I don't know if you can see them. There's actually holes drilled in the castings to get the screws through. It's like that one for the rear engine mounting bolt. I mean, to me, they just make things difficult for themselves. All right. Plus, I think the later pumps have 3, because there's only 2 screws at one side of it. So, I mean, it's a big block of a thing. It should screw down flat, but even so. Hang on, there is a third hole. There is a third hole. I was going to say that was... Oh. Searching. I've only got 2 screws. Let me turn you off while I search some more. Found it. I was looking for a longish 2BA screw to put the case in position, and I stole that one. Phew. Because we would have had to wait around while I ordered one. Little Allen ones would have been nicer for here. Alright, there's that on. So the next thing that goes on here is this sump. On the B25s, you know, they'd gone over to unified threads. I could take these out and use the little mushroom cap things to put them on. Right, which way does that go? Does that go in? Yes, that goes inwards, like thusly. Are you still in seeing all this? Yeah. And then, oh. I was reading up to check on a couple of things in Rupert Ratio's book, and I noticed for gaskets he mentions about putting some grease on. Although he does also mention putting gasket cement on one side, grease on the other, just so you could take covers off easily. But I might as well grease them while I'm on, mightn't I? You could get the cover off easily, but it would help sealing. I might do that with a chain case. Although I don't have that much trouble with chain cases leaking. All the leaks I have on the BSAs are mysterious ones, which is actually part of what I was talking about earlier, the remedial work. There's a couple of bikes, I've got drain pans under all of them, and they shouldn't be. I don't have to put drain pans under the Enfields, and they've got vertically split crankcases and all the rest of it. Of course, their oil tank and the passages are internal, so we don't have hoses and things like this here. What am I doing? Come on people, keep an eye on me. Right, then I'm putting that on. Then we're putting on some little lock washers. Then we're putting on
As I say, I'm dubious about these 1/4 inch nuts and things I get from British Tools and Fasteners. See, there's like that one. Look, doesn't want to screw on. Because they have them listed as BSC/BSF. And of course, you know, they're both 26 threads per inch, yes. But BSC use a 60-degree thread angle. BSF use a 55. So if they're a sloppy fit, they'll go on. If they're sort of well-made nuts and studs and bolts, they won't go together. You can force them together, but get enough of that on people who work on British bikes as it is. Now that is a different nut. All these are the nice ones, flat on one side, domed that side. This is got a shamp for both sides. But I think yeah, it goes on easily. That's the last lot I bought. Maybe didn't buy them from British Tools and Fasteners, because one of the reasons I like their nuts and bolts is they have the nuts are flat on one side and chamfered on the other, like the originals were. But you're not going to see this because it's going to be under the engine, in between the engine and the bash plate. Well, a couple of people compliment the welding on the bash plate. I think I've mentioned this before, but when you watch YouTube people doing alloy welding, even the really good ones, it took me a while to realise. I kept watching and thinking, why can't I get a puddle like that? Why can't I do this? And then it suddenly struck me, they never use anything less than about 1/8. And I'm sort of, oil tanks and everything, a 16th. Okay, so that's that all on. Now the next thing we were going to do, where is it? Oh no, it's only 12:20. Thought it was getting on towards my lunchtime because I can feel my stomach grumbling a little bit. You know, we had something happen in there as well. There's a mark of something seizing and... Now then, where is it? So as I said, that has got to go in. Like that. And then it runs in the casing. It is down onto the oil tank. And that bronze bush hasn't gone all the way down, so let me get a screwdriver for a moment. There we go. That's turning the oil pump fine. So I have to knock that bush down a little to get the bolt in there. Then we have to put the drive on here. There is a keyway right there. I've got the key and the gear. No, where's the worm drive? There it is. Where's the key? There's the key. So the key goes in there. Like thusly. Excuse my head again. Then what we're going to do is we're going to wind that onto there. didn't need a great big long screw. I was thinking I was having to go right to the bottom. It wasn't. That'll fit in there. So you turn that, winds that one like that. Then this goes on with this little timing mark next to the keyway. Goes on like that. Then we have a lock washer, and I think that nut. I would have bought a lock washer for this. It's a lock washer that goes into is that the camshaft one? Yeah, that's the camshaft one. Oh, don't tell me that I didn't order the lock washer for that. Pretty sure that's the nut for that. Let me put that nut on there just for now. Yeah. Oh, bugger. That is... Has that got enough life left in it? Yeah, that doesn't look as if it's overly fatigued. It's probably the original one. Hold on a second. Yes, I slipped up here, look. There's the new nut and lock washer for the end of the camshaft. And I ordered separately a lock washer. It's another camshaft one. So, this one's got a little tab folded over, which goes into the keyway. And that goes on there. And that gets bent up, and I think that'll be alright. Now don't worry, I know I'm not tightening that. I'll wait till this is in the frame and we can lock this. Ow, just jam my fingers. There we go. Everything turning nicely. You know what, I should probably put a bit of stuff in there. Just stop me accidentally. Oh, hurt my thumb then. Okay, so that'll be that. Now the next thing we've got to do is this. So how does that get lubricated? Because there is, doesn't get lubricated through the top. That sort of locks it in place. Can I pull this thing back out? Let me see if I can pull it out to have a look at it. So I've just had a look in the parts book, and you can see on the drawing that these sort of oil slots go to the top. And there's a tiny drilling there, which does go all the way through. So I've got a feeling it relies on oil from the timing chest here getting into that hole onto the top of here and then feeding down off them into the bush. No wonder this one was seized on. So we'll pop that down there. I'll get those slots lined up to that hole. Don't think it's going to make any difference. I think the hole is well enough above there. Okay, so now then, where's my torch? Excuse my head. Let me find a suitable drift to knock that in with. Oh, there's a nice piece of thick wall tubing which is just the right size, and because it's tubing, the tank for the distributor drive can fit up into there. This is a tight fit. I mean, it's meant to be a tight fit. Looks good. Hang on a second again. Right, I've got a 1/4 inch. Nope, so it isn't lined up with that hole yet. Let me see if I can see it. Pardon me. Oh yeah, we're just coming down to it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to warm this up a little bit. Probably should have done this in the first place. That's moving. Put my torch down. Excuse me. That seems to be it. Yep. Alright. So the next thing we've got to do is make up a piece for in there. Now I just shone a light, I put the light on this side, and that is above the bronze bush, and it's virtually where that little thing is, so that's nice. So, whoops, ow! There's our old, totally destroyed, well, I suppose you could soak it and it would come up. Well, I can't find a little screw for there. You know what, that might be the right size for that one. It looks smaller than a 2BA. I'll check, see what's what. But anyway, so that would normally go in there. Presume it's got an O-ring. See this collar here? Hang on, have I got you right? Yes. That drops down. I'm not going to force things when they're rusty. But that little collar there would go into there. So we need a piece just long enough to come down here so it'll clamp. The hole it's got to go in is 7/8, basically 872. So if I haven't got any 7/8, so we'll make that out of, well, no, I want to make it so it fits into that, and that is 1095. So that's just over an inch. Why did they make it just over an inch? Why couldn't they make it an inch? Yeah, 1095. I still haven't got a bloody battery for my digital calipers. Muck coming out of this. So, hang on. Alright, we might have to make this later because I've got lots of 1 inch round stock. I haven't got anything, any 1.5 inch. Well, the only piece I've got that's, yeah, that's 1.5 inch is just too short. Because I wanted to stick above it a little bit, see, so you can get all of it, pull it out. I could turn that out to be a press fit for a piece of inch. Well, 7/8 as we know it to be. Make a piece, and at least that'll keep me going. Although, you know, this is something I can do. Now, I'll order some. Well, I don't have to order it, I can go. Well, here's the funny thing. If I drive down to the metal stockists, it's about 20 miles away. So that's around 40 mile round trip. Actually, it's a little bit the other side. So it might be getting on towards 50, which is about 2 gallon, because don't forget American gallons are smaller. It's about 2 gallon in the pickup or in the Honda. So that's $6 or $7 in petrol to get down there. Probably only cost me $5 or $6 for shipping if I get it from MasterCard and I get it tomorrow without having to leave the house. So maybe I will order, you know, 12-inch length, a couple of 12-inch lengths, and a couple of other short lengths of odd sizes. And then, you know, if it comes to like $15 shipping, it doesn't matter. I'll do that. All right, so that's taking me coming up towards lunch. So we'll leave this for now. Find a screw for that. And the one for that does not go, I don't think, does it? Does it go all the way through? Is that it? Yes, it does go all the way through to there. So we don't put that in till we put this cover on. And of course this is one of the things they went to with the B25 from the C15 and the B40 is all this gear change mechanism, which is here, would be in. Well, it seems the camera battery was ready for lunch as well. Just as I finished talking, at least I think, I heard it click. So I've just spent ages looking for the gasket for that because it wasn't in the gasket set, and it's such a tiny one that they put it in the bag with the fibre washers. So I've been doing my stamping around cursing that you never see. Oops, that's a bit much. Let's fish a bit of that out. It's a bit excessive. I mean, it's only grease, the oil will get it out the way, but no point going mad, is there? I mean, I might just need to grease something and I go to the tub and it's completely empty and I think all I need is the least little bit of grease. It's like not getting your pennies and your change. You never know when you might just want a penny. For those of you old enough in the UK, you never know when you might want to spend a penny. For those of you who are not old enough, and for those of you who have the misfortune, like myself, to be living in other countries, when I was a small boy, the one thing about the UK was there were public toilets, or conveniences as they were called, everywhere. I mean, you go out in the country to a little village with 20 houses and there'd be a brick men and women's toilets. Well, what they had was the stalls on the door, the lock took a penny. The old penny was a big one. So you put a penny in and the door would unlock. And that's where, if you've ever heard it and wondered what it was, the phrase to spend a penny comes from, a euphemism for going to pee or going to the loo, going to the toilet. That's why it was there. Okay, I'm going to need a 5/16 washer. Should I put a lock washer on or should I just put an ordinary one on? Let's put a lock washer on to be on the safe side, shall we? I just had to look up which pipe goes where on these, because I always forget, because they changed from these earlier models to the later models. And in fact, the later models, like the B25 and that, they had the takeoff to the rockers right down here on the pipe, so you couldn't get them mixed up. Where's the socket gone? Oh, there it is. Bit of something in the end of that. And my mnemonic for it now is going to be Rhode Island, because the two-letter thing for Rhode Island is RI and return is inner. Feed is outer, return is inner. I was thinking, should I use Foreign Office, FO, feed out, or return in? Although that's reasonably easy to remember, isn't it? We're feeding out and we're returning in. So anyway, there's those on. I think I can put this in, get the oil pipes on. I had to bend these a little bit actually. They were fouling the frame tube here. So that's that on. Okay, let's see about putting the engine in. Well, I don't know if you can hear it because it's only quite light, but it's raining again. and tomorrow is going to be, well, tonight it's going to drop down below freezing, so we'll be icebound again tomorrow. Okay, so put the engine in. We've got to put the oil tank in as well because of the rear mounting. Oh God, these flywheels are heavy. Okay. Right, this one. Oh, okay. I was going to say this one has to go in from this side, from the drive side. Oh, where the hell did that washer go? Never mind, get it along. Because the exhaust pipe bracket has got to go on this side. So ought to be young and strong again, eh? At least there's one thing, I'm still bloody good looking. Okay, that's that one in. Come on now. Now we're going to put this spacer in there. Come on now, you know you fit. You know you fit. Come on! Well, isn't this a bugger? As I've mentioned many times before, it's amazing. You do an entire dry build and everything fits. And then when you go to put it together, now I still don't have a bolt long enough to go all the way through here. What's that? Oh, I know what that is. Oh, well, let me just put this one in the back to hold the engine. Oh. That comes out, it's about this much short. Okay. Now then that, oh yeah, we can get the oil pipes on easily. Just nail like that. Oh, come on. That's a little bit loose. Yep, it's coming right through. So, Alright, I've decided I'm going to make this because I don't want to be buying my stock in 1 foot lengths. I want to go down to the thing and get it done properly. So we've got, what is it? Rhode Island. Return is inner. So that one has got to go up here to there, and that one will take round the back and up onto there. So we'll do them in a minute. Why am I holding that in my hand? Oh, it goes on there. Goes on there. And that, come on. Come on, do as you're told. That goes on there. Right. They can be tightened up shortly. Okay, yeah, I was thinking about this. Hang on, let me turn you off. Right, so what I'm going to do is turn a piece that goes in there, turn this to fit here that sticks out a little bit. I'm just going to drill that, put the longer piece in, weld in the top, and then I can face it off and everything will be fine. Alright, so that goes in there. Alright, that fits in there like that. Gotta get a longer bolt for there. Alright, I just went to look for a piece of 1 inch and look what I found. That's what I want, and I've got, 18 inches of it. So let me take all my measurements and then we can turn this in one, pop it in. Well, I just realised I forgot to order those 5/16 nuts at lunchtime, but it's turned out well because I need a long 2BA one to go there and a 2BA one for the casing as well. So, O-ring. Just fits in there nicely. And that goes in there like that. And then this, which has a little bit to drop in there, goes in there, into the clamp, press it down to the O-ring because I want that to be watertight. And normally the distributor would sort of help that. So that goes in there, that clamps up, and I think that looks fine. Also, well, it's 4:30, that'll do. And that'll give me a chance to go and put that order in. Oh, so actually what I need, see there's one 2BA right down there. So that's got to go on there like thusly. And then, let's get it. Where's it gone? I've lost it. There it is. Right there, Michael. Stop shouting. Then that goes on there like that. That wants to be a 2BA Allen. Oh, I'll be surprised if they have a 2-inch one. Might get away with 1 3/4 inches, but 2 inches probably nearer it. Okay, very good. That wasn't a bad day. So we will come back tomorrow and I'll see you then. Right, well, when I did the video last night I found I already had 55 minutes, so that's going to be it for this week. Also, while I was putting this on, I noticed that I'd forgotten to put the little drain plug for the oil level part in the gearbox. It's a double plug, the large outer part, and this screws into the main drain plug.
So when you unscrew this one, it just drains down to the level of a tube that's inside the gearbox. And then when you want to drain the gearbox, you take the main plug out. So I can't get it on. I've just been looking. There's no way to get into that. So I'll have to take this plate off and do that. So anyway, I'll do that and then I'll keep pressing on. So I'll probably get the engine finished this week in real time, but in video time it's going to take a couple of weeks. All right, so until I see you again, stay safe and enjoy yourselves.